Hey gang, Bronco Carl 92 here. So today we're going to show you how to install an ARB air locker in a Toyota FJ40 8.9 inch differential. So let me get you set up. Alright, well we have our dropout here. And we've got this bench clamp here. So I'm going to bolt this to this, and once that's on there, we can start taking our initial measurements and then put the diff in. So let me go find some bolts and get this guy connected. Okay, so as you can see, we have the dropout hanging off the bench now, and I've got a dial indicator set up on it already. The ARB comes with, well, actually I downloaded these. I don't know if they forgot to give me the instructions or they weren't in the box, but anyhow, got a nice set of instructions here, and I reviewed them already before I got started. And of course, the first thing they want you to do is measure the differential backlash to determine you know, a good starting point for you. They made the point that a lot of the aftermarket gear manufacturers have different backlash settings than, say, you know, the stock gears. I'm not sure if these are aftermarket gears in here or not, but per their instructions, I set up my dial indicator, and let me get you over here so maybe you can. You can see this. So anyway, I've got it set up, and the idea is just to rock the ring gear back and forth and see how much play we have. 43 and 49. So we've got like 6,000s here. So I mean it's really not that much. So anyhow, that gives me my baseline. I'm going to write that down. And I'm going to start taking this baby apart. Okay, so one other preliminary check I'm going to do that's actually not in the instructions is I put some gear marking compound on the ring gear here, and I've been running it around to just see what kind of contact pattern we have. And it's faint, but I could see that we're right where we need to be, right in the middle. So, that being done, let me get this apart. Put you back on in a second. First, what we're going to do is, although we could see that we have yellow on the one side and nothing on this side, we're going to just match mark these caps with a punch. Just like that, so we know which side they're on. On this side, I'm not going to put any. So first we're going to take off these adjuster locks, 12mm. My hands are cold today. It's 36 degrees in my garage today. Now another thing you can do is make a pin mark on these adjusting washers. The one that's on this side is going to be replaced, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. I actually already did this side over here. It just gives you an idea of the ballpark of where you need to be once you start putting this back together. Right. Just lift that out. I don't know what he washed this out with. It smells like gas. We are going to replace all the bearings. These, grab the camera view. Looks better, I guess. These bearings here that are on the differential assembly, we're going to leave alone. There's no shims under them or anything. That's what the adjusting sleeves are for. I don't know, brain fart. So all I have to do is take the ring gear off of that. The pinion we can remove next. Okay, that's what that noise is. The dust shield's a little dinged up. But, let me get a socket for that, and we'll pull that baby off. Okay, so 27mm. Let's see if this will work. Oh yeah. That's interesting. There's no crush sleeve on this. My fingers are frozen. I complained about that already. I got to stop. There's our oil slinger. Looks like whoever set this up the last time did it with shims. That's good. Crush sleeves are a pain in the neck. Alright, so bang these races out. Alright, so I gave the housing a rinse out, and we're going to start putting our new bearings in. Now, the new bearing kit comes with a pack of shims to go below the pinion bearing here, but we're not changing the ring and pinion, so it's best to use the original shim that you have there. We're not changing the pinion depth. So I'll stick this in here. In place. Okay, so that's seated. This over. Okay, so we'll put our other pinion bearing in right now. Just sits in there. Use our driver on this side. Looks like it. Next thing we need to do is we have to pull this this bearing off of the pinion. So let me get a puller and get that going. All right. So what we have here is a bearing separator, and what that does is it pinches down between the pinion and the bearing race there. So I'm just going to tighten these bolts up here. So I've got a bite on that now. So now what we could do, tool off. This is going to be one of those days. Okay, anyhow. So now what we could do is we could take our puller and press this bearing off. Okay, so I got my puller set up on here. Maybe one day I'll get a proper press. Not that I really even have the room for it. Doing this much easier. I just have to find a piece of pipe to smack this on with. So, okay, so to put the bearing on, I've got a cut a piece of 2-inch gas pipe, a big hammer. That's it. Thought I had a piece cut, but I guess I didn't. So now I got a new tool. Yahoo! All right, so now we're gonna get working on our differential swap. So we'll just get the gun here. And that's 19. Let's get this ring gear off. I'm actually amazed that the battery made it through that whole round there. Alright, so fast drift. I didn't think I had to take the cross pin out. I guess I do. Not really necessary, but they're just all going to fall out as soon as I turn this thing over. So, one old differential. All right, so I've laid my gear on here, and I actually just turned the camera on now because this thing's hot. I just took it out of the oven. So you should heat it up around like 300 degrees, 200, 250. Or, I tell you, yeah, it's cooling off now. It's like 165. But basically what the heating does is it allows the gear to expand a little bit and just fit nicely over the diff. Drop all these bolts in here and torque them up. Alright, all of our bolts are in place. I'm just going to use a little Loctite. Now the importance of heating the ring gear up to fit it on is, you know, you could just drop the bolts in place and pull it on, but that's really bad for the ring gear, it's bad for the bolts, and probably not very good for a differential that costs as much as this one does. Or actually any differential for that matter. But so we'll get these on. Once I get all of them in place, we'll smack our bearings on, and then we'll work on the housing. I'll put you back on in a sec. Okay, so got our ring gear bolts torqued. Now we're going to put our bearings on. Alright, the bearings are on. I think that I maybe shut the camera off or hit the record button or did something messed up, so sorry about that. But anyhow, I basically just used this this socket here to nail them into place. Alright, so next we have to work on the housing. We have to drill a hole for the airline. So let me get that set up. Okay, so I've marked the housing with an X as per the instructions. Center punch. Now we have to make a 7/16 hole here. So I'll use my step bit to do that. Five 16ths, 3/8, and 7/16. chamfer on the inside. Alright, now I gotta go find me a 1/4" NPT tap for this. I can't seem to find one in my box, so I guess I gotta go on a road trip. So I'll be back.